Vice President Kamala Harris makes history, formally accepting her party's nomination for president. I'm Skyler Henry in Chicago on the final night of the DNC.
Plus, all that glitters is not gold, according to one local expert warning people about a popular scam. And Quapaw Public Schools announce a start date for a weather-delayed school year.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Vice President Kamala Harris makes history tonight, formally accepting the Democratic nomination for president. This is the late edition of KOAM News. I'm Dow Quick. It was the final night of the Democratic National Convention. Reporter Skyler Henry has been there all week, and he has details now from Chicago.
Chicago's United Center was at peak capacity when Vice President Kamala Harris took to the stage to accept her party's nomination.
I accept your nomination to be President of the United States of America.
The Democratic nominee called for unity and warned that returning former President Donald Trump to the White House could have devastating consequences for the country.
I will be a president who unites us.
Recent polls put Harris in a dead heat with Trump, and her campaign filled the night with Democratic heavyweights from battleground states.
Donald Trump skipped his intelligence briefings.
Donald Trump called me that woman from Michigan as an insult.
Kamala Harris will fight for you to the very end.
Oh, say, can you see?
The Chicks kicked off the primetime event, performing an a cappella version of the national anthem. There was a strong emphasis on patriotism, with VP nominee Tim Walz watching it all from the stands. Delegates also wore white, a nod to suffragists who fought to earn the right to vote more than 100 years ago. And the theme of joy stayed consistent to the end. Skyler Henry, CBS News, Chicago.
The next presidential debate is going to be on September 10th. It'll be live on ABC. Let's check in with Chief Meteorologist Doug Heddy for a first look at the weather.
Well, it definitely turned out to be another nice day for us today, all week long. We've had temperatures 4 highs into the 80s, which is below our average high because our average high is 90 degrees. Now, 2 main stories. Over the next few days, temperatures go up, humidity goes up, but also chances for rain. So let's look at the temps. We get back up, depending on cloud cover tomorrow, 90 to about 92 degrees. We're going to be in that same boat once again as we head into the weekend. 90s for highs, plus that humidity starts to increase. Now, until we get there, it looks pretty good. Look at this today, 82, average high 90, 103 was a record set back in 1983. Pretty much clear skies. Not a whole bunch is going on. We're going to stay fairly quiet as we go through the overnight hours for us tonight. We'll drop back to about 62 degrees, 77 by 10. We're going to look at that heat, plus those rain chances, all coming up here in just a bit.
See you soon. The Neosho School District is mourning after learning the woman killed in a Newton County crash yesterday was a longtime staff member. Authorities have identified the victim as Autumn Qualls, a librarian for the Neosho School District. Qualls was stopped for a school bus when a pickup struck the rear of her car. Qualls had worked in the school district for almost 20 years, including as a librarian for Neosho Middle School. A news release from the district today expresses condolences to family and friends and says additional support from the district's counseling team will be available at Neosho Middle School. A search warrant issued in Carl Junction results in a substantial drug bust. Authorities served the warrant to a home on Roney Street. The search warrant resulted in the seizure of a large amount of fentanyl and methamphetamine, they said. Detectives arrested 2 women and 1 man from that location. All 3 were arrested on multiple warrants. The price of gold has hit an all-time high this week, making the precious metal more precious than ever. But one Pittsburgh jewelry store owner is speaking out about an increasingly popular scam involving fake gold. He says he's had dozens of customers come in to have jewelry appraised only to learn it's fake. Customers are being approached in parking lots or at truck stops by strangers, given a story about how these people supposedly need money, and then are sold what they are told is real gold jewelry as a way to help.
They're having success, so the more success they have with their scam, the more opportunities they have to continue that.
Pittsburgh Police Department recommends buying high-value items such as gold from reputable sources you trust to avoid potential scams. The Quapaw, Oklahoma Public School District announces a start date for the start of the school year. The community suffered storm damage over the weekend, including to the roof of its elementary school. Cleanup and construction crews have been working this week to get facilities open safely. The city says its plan should have the school season ready to go on September 3rd for all grades. A group of students got to trade in the classroom for the campgrounds today. Look at this. Sixth graders from the Arma School District took a field trip to 5 Mile Camp in Quapaw, Oklahoma. Kids got to ride horses, do craft projects, and as you saw, even take in a zip line.
Yeah, it was like a big drop. It was a lot of G-forces, that's for sure.
We got scared. Like when you first jumped off,
Yeah.
it's scary, but face your fears.
Yeah.
It's the experience, getting to come here. Not everybody has horses that they can ride or get to go zip line every day or some of the things that they get to do. So just being able to hold on to those memories that they get to have, especially bringing it into a smaller group and doing it with their friends.
Horses and G-forces. Organizers say the field trip provided a cool way, look at that, cool way to kick off the school year. Coming up, items from the estate of one of Carthage's founding families goes up for sale, and the city of Joplin reaches out a helping hand to some homeowners. Some pieces of Carthage, Missouri history are up for sale this week. In a way, the descendants of some of the founding members of the city held an estate sale at Carthage's Memorial Hall. The Phelps are known for their extensive service to the community of Carthage. KOIM's Lonnie Walton has that story.
Although Pat and Caroline Phelps are gone, their dedication and legacy isn't. They dedicated their entire lives to the service of others.
They were on about every church committee, city committee, school board. My mom was on school board, I think, when I was in 3rd grade till well after I was married.
They both graduated from the University of Missouri. Pat earned a law degree, and Caroline earned an education degree. Learning was not a choice in the Phelps family.
So my mother was on school board from 3rd grade until after I was married. Long run education was extremely important to them. They're also on Board of Regents at Missouri Southern.
The Phelps generosity was given, but it continues to pass on.
We've had family generations here for years, so they love their town, they love the history of the town, but also their parents were like that. So it was just passed down to them.
The favorite things the Phelps loved are stored away by the remaining family, but they didn't take everything.
My father loved glassware, so there's a lot of glassware here. We've kept a lot. He loves shot glasses, and my kids were sure to get the ones back that they had given him from different countries and places they had been.
And there's still quite a few items left for those interested. Reporting live in Joplin, I'm Lonnie Walton, KOAM News.
The sale continues tomorrow from 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. City of Joplin's continuing their community revitalization efforts by relaunching the Joplin Homeowner Rehabilitation Program. That program will help homeowners with repairs of up to $25,000. The money can go toward repairs for their roof, HVAC, and more. Applications will be considered based on home location and a home evaluation.
The funds are going to be first come, first serve. So if you have a need, it's best to get your application in so that they can start working on assessing your home and doing inspections.
The goal of the program is to increase property value and reduce code enforcement problems in Joplin. Canada's major freight railroads came to a full stop today because of a contract dispute with their workers. But now the Canadian government has ordered the railroads to enter binding arbitration to try to get them moving again. Industry experts estimate the historic rail stoppage could cost billions of dollars worth of economic damage and wreak havoc on North American supply chains.
Canada and the U.S. are tightly integrated, particularly in the auto industry and in energy. A lot of the United States runs on Canadian oil, tar sands, other things, and a lot of what we consider American cars are actually assembled in Canada. And a 1 week one would be over $1 billion in terms of U.S. costs.
Canada sends about 78% of all of its exports to the U.S. Doug returns next with a complete look at the forecast, and a little bit later, some farmers in the Ozarks try to find ways to deal with less than ideal crop conditions.
Saturday, all you covered forever at Roper Honda.
Well, of course, another great day for us today. Temperatures have been into the 80s all week long. We were mid 80s yesterday, back into lower 80s today, a little bit cooler. The cloud cover kept our temperatures down just a bit, but hey, we will definitely take it. Plus the humidity all week long has been low. These are our dew points. So dew points measure in a degree fashion our humidity. When you see 50s in the month of August, that's pretty good. It makes it feel pleasant to not bad. You just don't want to be up here in that muggy to soupy range. Bad news here is our humidity levels will start to increase just a bit as we go through the next few days. We do have some rain chances in the forecast. And of course, it's Thursday. That means the new drought tracker comes out. Even though we've had decent amounts of rain in August, most of the area is dry. Then you can see a sliver from Girard, Pittsburgh, Joplin, Neosho down to Anderson that we do have a moderate drought. So even though those rain chances are in the forecast, fingers crossed that a lot of us can at least get a little bit of rain. Had some clouds today, pretty much clear skies now. That's what we're going to see as we go through the overnight hours tonight. Still tracking big dome of high pressure now around this wave. Follow the arrows and you can see little waves will drop in, giving us hit and miss showers and thunderstorms from time to time as we go through the weekend. So let's look at the heat. Let's look at the rain chances. By morning, showers and thunderstorms to our west. Watch as these push in. They just kind of die. May get a random shower, Kansas or Oklahoma. Most of us dry, keeping our temps down just a bit. With enough sunshine, most of us should get 90, 92 degrees once we get into the afternoon. Tomorrow night, it's going to be pretty muggy. We're only going to drop back lower 70s. Watch scattered thunderstorms develop southwestern Missouri, northwestern Arkansas. Most of these on the Missouri and Arkansas side, not much Kansas or Oklahoma. We'll have to see if these can shove back toward the west just a little bit. Here's Saturday morning, still some scattered thunderstorms central Missouri by the afternoon, but I think most of us by the afternoon fairly dry, highs into lower 90s. Hit and miss scattered storms again Saturday night into Sunday morning, and then again, partly sunny skies and hot Sunday afternoon. We'll have to see where those storms set up. A lot of areas will pick up a tenth, quarter of an inch, maybe a half an inch of rain in spots. Better chances for that to occur will be in southwestern Missouri, but hopefully we get a little bit of rain. I know it kind of stinks on the weekend. Heat indices going up, mid-90s tomorrow. Then we approach 95 to 100 once we get into Saturday afternoon. So it's going to feel a little bit more muggy out there. 64 to start, 85 by noon. High temp, 92 degrees. Check out the weekend. Some morning storms Saturday, hit and miss storms Sunday, mid-90s. Heat index is going to be right around 100 to about 102 as we go through the weekend. 93 Saturday, 95 Sunday, 96 on Monday, getting a little bit hotter, and then we stay mainly into the 90s as we go through most of next week.
Doug, thanks. The last few harvests have been kind of tough on farmers in southwest Missouri, especially those with peach and apple orchards. Nicolette Zangara shows us how growers are managing this year's growing conditions.
Apples from Murphy's Orchard play a big role in apple festivals between Missouri and Arkansas this time of year. The last few years, it's been a struggle to keep up with demand between drought, late season frost, and hail events. But the owner of the farm is feeling optimistic about this year. Late season frost has been public enemy number one.
Last year, we probably ended up with only about a 50% apple crop and 0% peach crop.
Apples had to be imported for fall festivals, which costs more for farmers and customers alike. This year, early blooms resulted in some crop loss, but it wasn't detrimental.
We lost probably about 75% of our peaches. Apples bloomed about a week later. Had a little bit of frost damage on them, but for the most part, we've got a bumper crop this year on our apples.
Mark Kaywood drove up from Arkansas after having trouble finding a local orchard. He and his family thought the apples were worth the drive.
Yeah, we like to get fresh when we can. You know, they were different. Some of them were sweeter and some of them were firmer than the others, but they were all delicious.
Murphy Orchards is also known for its cider, and there will be plenty of it this season thanks to hail.
We've got about 30 or 40% hail damage in our apples right now, so that's one reason why we'll have a few more cider apples than we normally do.
Murphy says some rain would be nice right about now, but all of his fields are irrigated. The biggest thing he worries about this late in the season are hail events.
The 81st annual Lamar Free Fair is underway this week. Visitors are able to enjoy a variety of events, including livestock shows, arts and crafts, parades, concerts, and more. For first-time exhibitors, it's a new opportunity to show off their skills and hard work.
I became involved in the fair 10, 11, 12 years ago. I'm 16 years old, so I've been at it for a while. We just got involved. Both my parents were ag teachers, so that I'm just kind of born into it, and we started showing pigs, and we've gotten better every year.
Clay Walker and Tate Stevens will perform at Wyatt Earp Park in downtown Lamar on the last night of the fair. That's going to be this coming Saturday at 7 p.m. Still ahead, the Chiefs play their final game of the 2024 NFL preseason, and Riverton High School football hits the practice field. John Dales has those stories and more coming up next.
Red Hot Summer Sale. You'll find red hot savings in every department throughout the store. Red hot savings on living room.
Although Pat and Caroline Phelps are gone, their dedication and legacy isn't. They dedicated their entire lives to the service of others.
They were on about every church committee, city committee, school board. My mom was on school board, I think, when I was in 3rd grade till well after I was married.
They both graduated from the University of Missouri. Pat earned a law degree, and Caroline earned an education degree. Learning was not a choice in the Phelps family.
So my mother was on school board from 3rd grade until after I was married. Long run education was extremely important to them. They're also on Board of Regents at Missouri Southern.
The Phelps generosity was given, but it continues to pass on.
You know, we've had family generations here for years, so they love their town, they love the history of the town, but also their parents were like that. So it was just passed down to them.
The favorite things the Phelps loved are stored away by the remaining family. But they didn't take everything.
My father loved glassware, so there's a lot of glassware here. We've kept a lot. He loved shot glasses, and my kids were sure to get the ones back that they had given him from different countries and places they had been.
And there's still quite a few items left for those interested. Reporting live in Joplin, I'm Lonnie Walton, KOAM News.
Golf courses around the United States in an effort to spread autism awareness.
Your entertainment destination.
High school football season continues to get closer and closer. Missouri teams play their jamborees tomorrow night. Schools are approaching the end of their first week of practice in Kansas, which is where our 2024 season previews take us today. Riverton High School football closes in on the end of its first week of practice. The Rams advanced to the second round of the 2A playoffs a year ago before getting knocked out by Humboldt. Riverton graduated 12 seniors from that team, so this year's Rams will be younger, but their strength is the offensive line.
We have a lot of good skill kids that got to, some of them played a little bit last year's freshmen. We've always said at a school our size, if you've got a good senior class of linemen, you can get by with some really good sophomores at skill positions. So we're going to throw a lot of sophomores on the field who are very athletic. So we're going to be similar to what we were last year. The only difference is we're not going to have as much depth if some of those guys need a breather. But as far as putting good guys on the field, we feel real comfortable with those guys going in and playing real good football.
The whole goal is honestly just to make as far as we can in the playoffs. And last year, losing by 10 points is rough, but we're going to bounce back this year and do better.
To the NFL, the 2024 preseason comes to a close over the next few days. The Chiefs host the Bears for their preseason finale this evening at Arrowhead Stadium, a game where both teams stated in the days prior they won't be playing their starters. Well, the Chiefs dropped that game to the Bears 34-21. Their record in the preseason is 0-3. One of the bright spots from this contest was undrafted rookie running back Carson Steele. He had 4 carries for 50 yards and a touchdown. He's one of the many players fighting to make the 53-man roster. Over to Major League Baseball, the Cardinals had lost 7 of their last 8 before last night when they entered the 9th inning down by 2. They went on to force extra innings, and Nolan Arenado hit a walk-off grand slam in the 10th. That brings us to the rubber match between the Cardinals and Brewers today. Miles Michaelis dealing. He punches out the first batter there. Then in the second, Gary Sanchez goes down swinging. He had 6 scoreless innings with 3 strikeouts. In the 4th, still no score. Lars Nootbaar goes deep to right center, but this ball gets robbed, taken away. A home run there, jumping over to take it away from the fence. We're still scoreless. 7th inning, bases loaded for the Cardinals. First run of the game is going to come in on a bases loaded walk by Wilson Contreras. 2 batters later, there's Arenado again. He hits this one into the gap in left center. Alec Burleson comes in to score. Cardinals get 3 runs in the 8th. They win it 3-0. Back to the Chiefs. Doesn't really matter if you go winless in the preseason, but I'll tell you what, Carson Steele, that's a name to look out for, has more than a fighting chance at making the 53-man roster and getting carries for the Chiefs this year.
We're going to find out a lot more who will make that roster and who won't, I guess, in the days ahead.
We will.
We'll be right back.
But Outpost Casino is giving away cool cash. Come play your favorite.
On Hutchings, a 4-state hero.
Looks like another comfortable night for us tonight. We drop back into lower 60s. So kind of a cool start during the morning hours, but a hotter day. We are going to have a lot of clouds during the morning. If we get enough clouds, high temp maybe 89 or 90, but we'll go 92. 93 Saturday, morning thunderstorms. A few more hit-miss storms on Sunday into Monday, but high temps mainly into the mid-90s.
Doug, thanks. Hey, you can stay up to date with the latest news, weather, and sports with the KOAM Plus TV streaming app. It's available on Amazon Fire TV, Android TV, Apple TV Plus, and Roku. Players also available on our news and weather apps as well as on our website. Watch live streaming anytime, anywhere. Best price anywhere. It's absolutely free. KOAM Plus TV streaming app. But a final sports note.
Tomorrow we get our first taste of Friday Night Lights for high school football.
Yeah.
We're going to have our jamborees over at Carthage and Joplin. We're going to see Webb City, Seneca, Lamar, Carl Junction, Nevada, and a whole lot more. And we're very excited for it.
Yes, we should be. Preseason NFL football wrapping up. High school football about to get underway.
That's right.
Thanks for staying up a bit late with us. Don't forget the morning show starts at 5 a.m. Let's make it a great tomorrow.
On KOAM